There we go. Good evening, everyone. I hope you can see me and hear me okay tonight. Do let me know. Send me a little hello on Facebook or on the YouTube, wherever you're watching it from, so that I know that everything's fine before we begin. Hi, Angela. Slide it down a little bit. It's bright. Good to see you here. Who else have we got on? Yes, you can hear and see me fine. Okay, this is great. So we're okay with the connection tonight. Hi, Vicky, welcome. Wonderful. Okay, I can hear myself too. Hi, Rue. Emily, it's a bit broken again for you. What about everybody else? Let me know. I can see it's a little bit broken as well. It's just one of those situations. Okay, I have restarted the computer, but you never know. So just bear with me. Let me just do it super, super quick, just in case, because this might be the magic key. So bear with me. Okay, little restart. How are we doing now? Have we nailed it with the whole connection thing? I'm hoping so. So just drop me a little hello and tell me if you can see me a little bit better now. And then we'll dive right in. Much better. How bizarre! This is super sonically bizarre. But hey, you know what? If that's a way around the gremlins, then I'm good with that. Okay, so brilliant. We'll shoot right in. So remember, you can message me anytime. You can interrupt me. I will keep a little eye on the messenger there as well. Thank you so much for feeding back that it's now nice and clear. Keeping my eye on Facebook, and I'm keeping my eye on the other chat box as well. So day 3. Okay, so here we go. Now, obviously, I know that not everybody has done your 1 to 10s at the moment, and that's absolutely fine. It is not essential that you needed to have done that for tonight, so relax. You've got all week to have a real good think about that. We can still go ahead with what I've got planned tonight because it's all part of it. It's all connected. So take your time. Don't feel like you need to rush it, and get in touch if you need a little bit of support with it. I know that it can be a little bit tough. And so with that in mind, there's a few things that I just want to run over that kind of came up over the course of the day with people adding in their comments, just to help you with it, really. So a couple of points. So don't forget, once you are ready to pop your 1 to 10 points in that particular post that says day 2, and you'll see where the others have put them as well, which might be really helpful for you, and my feedback to those messages too. pop your comments in there and make sure you do that on each one before Sunday. And then those of you that have commented on each of those 4 days, those will be the ones that get into the mix that we will do the prize draw live on Sunday. So I've not revealed what those prizes are yet, but one of them is I really want to share, but okay, I like to build that anticipation. One of them is something physical that you're going to receive through the door. One of them is about this membership that I'm building up towards. Something else is like an event. So these are nice things, okay? So as I say, you can still continue today without have done them yet. You've got until Sunday. So there we are. That's what we're doing today. So on Sunday, it's going to be the interactive Zoom. I'll probably send you a Zoom link for that one. I'm going to see how we get on. And we can have a little bit of a chat, and I'll tell you some more stuff about what's coming up with the membership, and also about being one of the first to find out what's going on in the membership. And if you do want to be the first people that do sign up get some really good prizes. So there's lots of stuff going on at the moment. So if you do want to be one of the first to find out and one of the first then to get in with these prizes, then just drop me a message. It doesn't need to be an email. You can just drop me a PM, a private message on Facebook, and just say you want to be added to the waiting list, and I will add you to it, and then you'll be the first to find out. Okay, so these mood boosts then. Obviously today, like the one we did yesterday, might need a little bit more support. So when we do that kind of stuff in the membership itself, there will be more group support and one-to-one support depending on which tier you go for. So, if you find that this is your kind of thing and you're really enjoying that kind of accountability and group support, that will be available. But the mood boosts will be available in all the different ones, all the different variations of the membership. This is all about the mindset, isn't it? We're going to have ones around yoga. We're going to have ones around just meditation, things around NLP, things around food, movement, all sorts of different styles of mood boosts. So this one is more about the actual mindset side of things. Brilliant, Michelle. I'm looking forward to it too. And Angela, thank you. So I want to come back to a little bit about yesterday before we go into today. So I've got a couple of pointers that I want to highlight just to help you out with it. One thing that came up was somebody said, what if I've got loads of feelings that I want to address? What if I've got loads of things that I want to work on and I don't know which one to prioritize, and I don't know, feeling a bit overwhelmed with all the things that I want to change? Now, I completely hear you. I get you. Okay. And sometimes, whether we're feeling overwhelmed at the time or whether there's just a lot going on at the time or we're at the beginning part of our journey, when you first start looking at it, it feels like there is so much to do. Okay. It feels like, if I'm talking about the abstract ones, the ones where you want to go from a feeling to another feeling, it feels like, wow, where do I even begin? And anytime that I used to have a one-to-one client, I always explain this to people, because when you first start to open up to somebody, it does very much feel like a bleh, of everything. And it's hard to know where to start sometimes. Now, what I always say to people that I find quite reassuring is I tell them about my tree analogy. Now, I know that there's tree analogies for so many different things, but I use it on the things that you want to change or the things that you feel you're ready to change. So if you imagine this is the trunk of the tree and these are the branches of the tree, and you may have heard me say this before and forgotten about it, so it's a really nice reminder. And you've got these main branches on the tree. And on these main branches, there's twigs. And on the twigs, or the little branches, there are lots and lots of little leaves, okay? And I also use this kind of analogy in the letting go retreat that I do every year, because obviously dropping those leaves from the tree can also link into this. Now, when you start to look at what you want to change and develop, you've got a couple of different approaches in how you do it. Now, when you list absolutely everything down, it can feel like all of those little leaves are so many things. But actually, if you kind of follow them back to the little branch, and you follow the little branch back to the main branch, and then the main branch back to the tree, you will discover that there is a core belief or a core emotion underneath everything. And when you understand that core emotion, then that is the one that we work on. And I can already tell you now that that core emotion is probably going to be something like, these are the two main ones: I am not good enough, or I am not lovable. Okay, does that resonate with you? Because it does resonate with me, and I think that we all on some level feel a little bit like this, some more than others. So what that might manifest into is how you put yourself out there. Maybe you've got social anxiety, maybe you get irritable. And these are all these main things that you feel like you want to look at. And then from there is, oh, I get snappy in this situation, I withdraw in this situation, I feel like this in this situation. And these are all basically as a result of how you feel deep inside. Angela, you're saying it resonates with you. So what I want to do is just reassure you that sometimes when it feels like it's a lot, it's actually mainly these deep core beliefs. And so how you approach that is there's no rights or wrongs. You can either take a leaf at a time and look at that leaf and go, right, I want to start with this one because this is where I feel it causes me the most damage, or people around me, and I want to look at this one. You might know what your core is and still go for the leaf, and that is fine. Okay, it doesn't mean one's going to take longer than the other. Why? Because they are all connected. So when you start to work on, let's say, one of the main branches, most likely another one is getting knocked down at the same time, okay, because they're linked. So your irritability or your overwhelm is linked to your anxiety. And then you find that eventually you work on one thing that others are simultaneously being worked on, okay? So when it comes to your steps in your 1 to 10, that's why I say it's up to you how you approach that. And as I say, it can take a little bit more guidance and a little bit more support to really kind of nail it. But whatever feels right for you today, or certainly within this week, is right for you this week. And it's about shifting and moving with that. Rue says, I have had to work so hard on believing that I am good enough. I write it in my journal regularly. I am enough. And Rue, you know what? This came up in our mini retreat that we did on Sunday, and we did some deep affirmations with that. We kept reinforcing it. And this is kind of what I'm coming on today in terms of what are our barriers that are holding us back, specifically with the thoughts. And once we can understand them and start to develop some affirmations like you've got there, I am enough, then these are the ones that I'm going to embed at a deep level on Sunday night. So you've got lots of time to really have a think about what they are and send them across to me in whatever format that you want to. So Sian, you've also put, yes, that's correct. It's self-belief and I am good enough. Exactly. This is something that impacts all of us. So that's one thing that I really wanted to look at. The other thing was, it doesn't, like I said yesterday, it's, or whichever day it was, it's an opening of a flowering. And I want to reinforce that idea again today. So even though we're listing things and it feels like, okay, we're going from A to B and we're writing our list, it doesn't have to be in that systematic structure. Some things are. So like I went to the example of the Couch to 5K. First, I'm going to do this, then I'm going to do that. There is a very obvious structure, and that's great when you've got that kind of very practical physical goal. But when it's more abstract, it is going to go a little bit round the houses and back and forth a little bit and round in that spiral until it kind of fully decides to flower and open. So that's another reminder that I wanted to see as well. And if it's all about it looking manageable to you. So if you look at your list and you just think, whoa, then it needs to be changed. It needs to be shifted. Maybe you've put too many big milestones in there. Maybe you want to just focus, to strip it back a little bit and bring it a little bit closer. Now, the meditation that we're going to do this evening is using that kind of concept. It's looking at, we've already done that deep meditation on what is our B anyway. Tonight, we're looking at how do we get there? So it's It's allowing you to see yourself in all those different stages. So that is what we're doing tonight. And I said, and I promised I wanted to make it a little bit shorter for you, because I do know that I'm eating into your evenings every night. And I know that some of you are watching on replay. So sometimes it feels a lot to watch it all back. So I will do my best to kind of get through what I want to say tonight and then get straight into the meditation. Okay. So the last thing that I wanted to say, I do apologize. I can't remember who I was replying to. Let me know if it's you. But we spoke about, there was a, I think was it you, and Angela, it might have been yourself, where we were talking about monitoring and writing down what we'd done and kind of ticking it off as like mini wins. So, oh, bless you, thank you. Don't rush. Oh, that's really kind, thank you. Now I've just done, again, just a really rough drawing here. I didn't get space to put on a Friday and Saturday and Sunday, okay, but if this was a week, okay, hopefully you can see all that. It's just a very, very quick diagram of like how you can monitor your mood or the things that you said you would do or you commit to yourself. So I sometimes do drawings just to make it easier for myself. So I've got, for example, something positive that I've done or a positive thoughts. That represents journaling or writing something down. That represents meditation. It's a little smiley face. And that represents going for a walk or going outdoors. It could be anything. The idea is to kind of tick, I don't know if you can see the whole thing, tick them along so that after a week you can monitor it. After a month you can monitor it. You know, journaling is so powerful. There's so many different ways you can do it. You know, it's not just about writing things down, which we might have a little go at tonight if you're up for it. But it's really about, it's about assessing patterns. It's about using your own inner knowledge to look and go, oh, that's really interesting. It's the correlation. Human beings are designed to look for patterns in things. It's one of our innate capabilities. There's a whole phrase for somebody that can see faces in things, you know, in like trees and in the clouds and things like this. Are you one of these people? So we're always looking for patterns. It's so fascinating when you look into the psychology of it. So let's use that skill and look at the correlation. There's lots of apps, you know, that do this as well, but I just think there's nothing more satisfying than getting a pen to paper. So Rue, I'm such a list maker. It really does help me to keep my head straight and also something to look back on and realize that I have achieved more than I think. I love that. You know, and a lot of you know that I do the 10-day resets that are all about journaling. But again, I want to bring this concept into our membership, but not, I know I do talk about that a lot, but I'm also going to bring a lot of this stuff still into the tribe. I want you to know that with this kind of journaling, since January this year, I've been doing so many different things and monitoring myself and come out with lots of really lovely diagrams. So there'll be planners and journals as well that I'm going to be sharing with you that might be useful for you. I'd love your feedback on those actually, because at some point I'd like to have maybe a little series of journals for different things. So the big one will be a big one, and then there'll be lots of little ones. Claire says she's always seeing faces in trees. I love it. I like taking the photos of them as well. So that was the other thing that I wanted to show you. You can look at your progress. You can do the praising the small wins, and like Rue says, looking back on what you've achieved and this kind of thing. So I have, as mentioned about that, yeah. So remember, there's one more thing that I want to say to you is remember that this is a mood boost. So it's not the answer to everything. Try to just give yourself a little bit of breathing space and remind yourself that this is about you getting to a place where you're ready to take that first step and actually taking steps within this week. And we're already doing it. You know, it's not about trying to be everything within this week. It's a mood boost. It's getting you into that motivation. It's getting ready to move. So what I want to do is dissolve these barriers that are actually trying to sabotage us, to stop us getting there, because there's something stopping us. And as I say, it's not about suppressing them, but it's about looking at them and then working with them. So Rue says, I want to start my yoga journal and journey. I don't do it regularly enough to be of benefit, but when I do, it feels so good physically and emotionally. So, like you, Rue, myself, I dip in and out of journaling, and I usually do it when I feel that everything is out of balance. I do it when I get to a crisis point. I do it when I think I don't know what else to do. I don't know where to turn, even though I know I've got all the tools inside. Sometimes when we're really overwhelmed and stressed and out of balance, we can't see the wood for the trees. So I always start with writing things down and things get clearer. Yeah, I'd love to do it all the time. And it's okay not to. And some people love to do it every evening and every morning. So it's all up to you on how you actually use that tool. So what I want to do actually is just spend 5 minutes now. So I hope you've got a pen, I hope you've got some paper or some kind of device. But I think pen and paper is a really nice way of doing this because it allows your mind to catch up with what you're doing rather than quickly typing, which is what we tend to do these days. Everything's fast, fast, fast. This is called free writing, and I know that some of you have done this with me before. And the free writing it's almost like a brainstorm, okay? In the way that when you do a brainstorm, you don't judge what you're writing down, you don't analyze it, well, you can in a way, but it's not about judging what you're putting down and not writing it down. It's about whatever comes into your mind, you're writing down. So we want to look again at the self-sabotaging thoughts that are coming in. So all the different things that you might be thinking about, your list of 1 to 10 at the moment, or your A to your B, and all the things that are eating up at you inside your belly, in your chest, or in your head, where you're like, no, it's not possible though because of A, B, and C. I want you to journal about that now. I'm going to give you 5 minutes and I'll give you a little bit of a countdown, and then I will tell you when there's 2 minutes left. Some of you will feel very, very blank, okay, and that's also normal. Some of you will feel like my glasses are very dirty, that's why I'm taking them off, because I can see them in the thing and it's putting me off. Some of you will feel like you're just on a roll and you just can't stop. So I would encourage you to take that forward into the evening and just dedicate some time before you go to bed. So as I'm whittering on here, just ask if you've got any questions. I'll just go through it again. All you're doing is writing down for 5 minutes your concerns, your fears around your B, going from A to B, or the steps in between, the things that you're saying to yourself of why it won't work. And we're going to do something with that in a minute. So I will keep my eye on your questions. It's 7:53. So I'm going to start you now. I'm going to give you 5 minutes. So it'll just take us almost to 8. And then I will tell you when you've got 2 minutes left. So even if your mind goes blank, just write, my mind is going blank. I don't know what to say. Okay, don't filter anything. Just get it down. Exactly, Rue. Don't worry. You don't all day 2 was basically listing how do I go from A to B anyway. So you can use tonight as what are my concerns about getting to B. Okay. For those of you that are watching tonight for the first time, your A is what you are now, and B is what you would like to be. So whether it's something physical or whether it's a feeling you want to evoke. Okay, I'll give you some silence now. So there's 2 minutes left. Okay, so I was just telling my noisy neighbours to shush. So hopefully that's it's going to be okay. Apparently there's some commotion outside. Okay, so no worries. Let me bring my messages back up so I can see who that is. Hi, Samantha. Welcome. Okay, so how was that for you? Okay, who was in the flow and who was basically stuck and struggling to get moving? Just let me know. Basically, what that does is it reveals some stuff that you tend to push to one side, okay? Because what we do every single day is we filter, okay, in the aid of trying to be positive, which is brilliant. Don't get me wrong. It is also about shifting your mindset, but sometimes we forget what we're actually genuinely feeling and we forget to address it. So when we know what we're saying, then we can start to shift it with the right words that actually honor what you're feeling instead of saying, be positive, be positive, be positive. We actually need to know what we're saying to be able to shift it. Rue saying that she flowed. Okay, that's brilliant. What else have we got? Somebody else is saying, I was ranting. Yes, well done, Vicky. Love that. We've got Emily's wrote quite a bit. Claire wrote loads. Angela got into the flow. Started with the negative stuff and finally came up with some positive. So you've taken it even further, which is fantastic because that's what we're going to do next. Michelle was flowing as well. So this is the idea. This is brilliant because first of all, it's just about outing it, right? Because we spend so much time judging ourselves for these emotions and we think that it's only us that feels like that, when actually we all have these feelings of being bitter or jealous or angry or frustrated or sad or depressed. We all have these different feelings, but if we just try to push them away, then we're not really addressing it directly. So we're now looking at it and going, you know what? Yeah, that pissed me off, right? And going, but why? Is it just one of those days? Was it the fact that it's there's something hormonal going on? Am I just overwhelmed at the moment? Or is this person really triggering something from the past? You know, or is this person just somebody I don't want to be around? How can we make that decision unless we actually pause and listen to what we're saying. And like I said yesterday, my definition of mindfulness is to pause, check in with yourself, and that's why journaling can help, and then choose. Right. So we've got Pat, plenty came out. It was a cascade, and that was only 5 minutes. You know, imagine if you've got more time. Rue says words that came out were realistic, perspective, exercise, kind, and sleep. Great. So now we're moving into the good stuff, right? If we're feeling all those things, how now do we bring in the affirmations that make us feel, and there's a little bit more on this tomorrow, but my question is, these thoughts that are coming up to you, the self-sabotaging thoughts around your goal, your B goal, and it's very, I'm trying to keep all your different situations in my mind as I'm thinking about this, because I know that everyone is so unique. But I want to draw your attention to the word how else, the words how else, okay? Michelle has convinced myself that I deserve to make things better for myself. I want to ask you how else. So I think I got this from working in my Korean company. When I was working in a Korean company and I was working with a really strict boss, there were no excuses or anything. So as much as it burnt me out and gave me adrenal fatigue, and you know, well, it was just one thing that I gave me adrenal fatigue, as well as my own head and lots of other stuff going on in the background, as a lot of you know my story. But it taught me a lot as well. Okay, I've got a lot to be thankful for working with that company and that manager as well. And one of them was, yeah, if you really want to do something, you can make it happen. I mean, we made miracles happen, you know, things superhuman. Okay, nobody should actually have to work like that, by the way, but we are, as a species, capable of superhuman stuff. But we shouldn't be like that all the time. It really should only be for survival or fight and flight and things like this. But working in that company, working in that environment, got me into the mindset of, well, then how else can we make it happen? Because we have to make it happen. Who's seen The Devil Wears Prada? Okay, I've worked with that kind of boss, a male one. And I love that film for all those reasons. And that kind of pressure of you just have to make it happen made me the mindset of, well, how else? And then having that breakdown, of having that endocrine breakdown, the adrenal fatigue, shifted it even further, because I had to say no and I had to get well. It was like, okay, well, how else? How else? How else can I make this happen? How else can I say no? How else can I heal? So that is my question all the time. Well, how else? Because there is an answer and there is a way. There always is. It just takes a little bit of delving. So let me give you a real example of this. I said this on a live that I did in January when I first started journaling again this year. And through my journaling, I discovered that I wasn't doing anything creative. And I was missing this big chunk of my life. So I look at life as a kind of, there's all these different jigsaw pieces and that makes us happy. And I'm going to be sharing more about this as we go through the year, because I really want to develop this concept and share it with you more. But one of it for me was creativity, and I think for everybody. And I was like, okay, well, what's creativity to me? I journaled about that. I love painting, I love writing, I love dancing, I love singing. Now, sometimes we're almost spoilt for choice and we almost get decision fatigue, so we don't do anything. Or we just feel overstimulated and it's like, well, I don't know which one to pick out of all the different things. So I decided, first of all, I need to pick something. And it was dancing. And I decided I was going to do a Zoom dance. And that's when I brought in the yoga fusion as well. And we brought a bit of dance into the group. And I was like, I also realized I needed to have more me time and more exercise. And I thought, well, it's not possible because my little girl's at home and I'm working. And I was like, no. I have realized that this is a massive piece of the pie that is missing and is going to impact everything else in my life positively. I have to make this happen. How else can I make it happen? So I sat and brainstormed stuff that I thought was impossible. like getting up at 6 o'clock. I know some people are great with that. I am not great with that. I brainstorm things late at night. I'm also not great with that either. So eventually I came to the choice that I have to dedicate some of my work time to myself. And I started to do it and everything changed. Everything. And it wasn't until I started to ask how else? How else? So I'm inviting you today, and this is your task for tonight, going through into tomorrow. How else can I make it happen? And we're going to use those self-sabotaging thoughts to shift them into some affirmations as we do that tomorrow. I'll be talking a bit more about that tomorrow. Ruth says, I've been trying to be superwoman for the past 3 years, trying to work full-time, 15-hour night shifts, as well as managing the practice, run the small holding, keep my horses fit and compete, run the house. I know. And I have realised I cannot sustain this, and my body has reacted by quite the crisis with my ongoing chronic conditions. I'm taking steps to readiness this one day at a time. Readdress this, sorry, one day at a time. A lot of you know where I'm coming from, right? So the task for today's task that leads into tomorrow night is, how else can I make it happen? And meanwhile, if you start to put down some affirmations already, brilliant, send them across. You can even journal again as well. But what I want you to do tonight, and I'm sorry I've waited on again, it's 8:10. I am going to do this deep meditation with you again. I'm going to reinforce what we did on Monday and yesterday. That'll be our 3 reinforcements, but I will still continue to do it tomorrow and Sunday to really drive it home. But today we're going to have a lovely meditation that will help you to visualize the steps. You don't have to think about the steps. You don't even have to know the steps. It's something subtle, okay? Just trust the process, trust the meditation, trust yourself. Okay, so before we go ahead, are we all ready? And of course, I know some of you do need to go. I do understand that. I know there are long sessions this week. You can always catch up with this anytime this week, but I will plow ahead regardless. So we probably need about 10 minutes or so for this. I hope you've got time. Good. So let's start as we've always been doing. This is just the power of association as well. So we're going to inhale up with the shoulders, take them back, and then exhale down. Let's do that again. Inhale up, back, and down. Clicks and creaks are normal. Let's practice non-judgment. And then settle into your space. We're going to do 3 of those breaths again. And as we do these breaths, we'll take the first one as a normal inhale, exhale. The next will be blowing it away. And the third will be a sigh. So let's begin. 1 deep breath. Keep the shoulders dropped. Blowing away as we inhale. Fully exhale. This time with a sigh. Just start to feel that face relaxing already. The forehead smooth, the eyebrows soften, the jaw relax, the tongue sit comfortably behind the teeth. And in your mind's eye, just visualize or imagine a square. And each square is going to represent a counting in for 4, out for 4, in for 4, and out for 4. So we're just going to do 2 or 3 rounds of that and then break. Another way to relax the mind and body. So let's begin as we inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, release, 2, 3, 4, in, 2, 3, 4, release. 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4. Release. 2, 3, 4. Keep breathing with this pace. And as you do, I'm going to introduce a pause of the breath. So the pause of the breath will also be a count for 4. So wherever you are, let's inhale now for 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause. 2, 3, 4. Release. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Pause. 2, 3, 4. Release. 2, 3, 4. And now as you breathe normally, settling into your space, softening the body, you can always try counting the rectangle, which is inhaling for 4, exhaling for 8, inhaling for 4 and 8. This brings oxytocin into the body, which allows the body to relax even more. Or you can just drift away or listen to the sound of my voice as I take you even more relaxed, even deeper into that quiet space within. And each and every time we go there, becomes easier, smoother, and you relax even faster than before. There's no pressure, there's no deadline of when you need to relax. It will happen anyway. It will happen simply with the passing of time. Your body starts to relax and soften, maybe feeling a little heavier. And the more your body relaxes, the calmer the mind. The calmer the mind, the more relaxed and blissful you feel. With every exhale, you're just blowing away the day, the thoughts, bringing yourself into this moment of now. Nothing else matters. And as I count you down from 5 to 0, each count will take you even more relaxed, even calmer, lighter in the mind, feeling lovely. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. And just enjoy that light space. Just enjoy the beauty and calmness of your true self. The calm, confident, energized, motivated, empowered self. The true you. And it's here where you can take out that photograph of yourself, that version of you that you know to be true, that best version of you. See your face, see your body language, see what you're wearing, your hair, see everything. Turn the brightness up, turn the focus sharper. Hold it with joy, hold it up in your arms as you smile at the photo. as you hold the photo now close to your heart, hugging it like a friend, like a child, a loved one, happy, glowing, shining, you and the photo. And in this moment of today, of Wednesday, this you that knows that this is the true you, and those apprehensive thoughts, fear that may come into your mind from time to time, to remind yourself that these are coming from a positive intention, but they're not needed right now. And we're gently going to let them go. And over these next few days, we'll be dissolving those and bringing in what we know to be true, deep into our subconscious, to rewire our core beliefs. And on that Sunday, when we do that deep work with our real and personal and unique affirmations that we will embed, you will notice, and you will even notice today, maybe even yesterday and tomorrow, subtle changes happening, very subtle shifts in the mind. Noticing maybe a different reaction, a different sensation or feeling. Or maybe it's the same feeling, but it's less intense or less regular. There's just this knowing, this true knowing that something has shifted. And as you go into the week ahead, after Sunday, you're feeling that these subtle shifts are happening without you even realizing. Deep in your subconscious, driving you with 88% of the power, 9,000 times stronger than the conscious mind, working on your behalf. And you notice different feelings, different behaviors over this week and the weeks that follow. Maybe even new actions of saying yes or saying no. And as the weeks go by and you find yourself somewhat in the future, maybe 6 months, things have really shifted. How have they shifted? What have you noticed about yourself? Where are you? Who's with you? Who's not with you? Try not to search for the answer. Let it present itself. Enjoy watching this like a movie or feeling it inside. How do you move? What's your body language? Your facial expressions? Maybe it's a year now in the future. What else has changed? What has stayed the same? What do you know to be true about yourself? What have you let go of? 10 years now into the future, you've been practicing, you've been applying, you've been learning and growing. All the while, everything's changed beautifully. Everything does change. But this time it's been mostly in your empowerment, the choices you've made where possible, certainly in how you've reacted to things around you. You're feeling strong, wise, empowered and confident. You've been doing this for such a long time now. It's completely normal for you. And as that version of you looks over the last years of you applying this and embedding this into yourself, you look back at those few weeks after the rewiring You look at the few months back and what you shifted and what you changed, and you notice some specific things that you did or that you felt or that you didn't do that were really and truly that first step into these amazing changes that were evident even after a few months of applying them, even after a few weeks, even after a few days. And ask yourself now to reveal to you what that first step might be. What is it that first small, tiny step might be for you to make that real shift? And I'll give you some time now to reveal that message to yourself. And it may not come straight away. It may come later tonight. It may come in a dream. It may come to you the days of the rest of this week. We don't pressure the mind. We allow it to reveal. We plant a seed and we ask, what is that first step that will help me on this path from A to B? And now as you hold that picture of yourself in your hands, feeling so much closer to it, feeling already part of it, because you already are. This is you. This is the real you. That feeling that you felt before, sometime in your life, no matter how long ago, no matter what kind of situation, you felt confident, strong, empowered, calm, kind, non-judgmental, love, joy, energized, healthy. I want you to bring that feeling in now, wherever it starts from, whether it's the belly, the heart, the head, the hands, wherever you feel that beautiful energy, amplify it, turn it up, maybe give it a color, amplify it through the whole body, spread it through every cell, healing, rewiring the genetic makeup of your cells, healing, rewiring, thriving to the best version of you, the you that you already are, the you that you're starting to see each and every day this week and beyond. And now, taking a deep breath in and blowing away that we don't need anymore, with thanks, with love, with learning. And in a moment, I'll be counting you back from 1 to 3. And at 3, you'll be feeling lighter, confident, more hopeful, more positive, more motivated, whilst giving yourself kindness, a break, without pressure, just getting that beautiful balance. And being proud of yourself, knowing you're exactly where you need to be right now. And it's all happening with divine timing. So, beginning with 1, we're starting to think about connecting the mind and body together. with 2. We're starting to connect, wiggling fingers, toes, maybe rolling the shoulders or the head, connecting to the breath. Stretching if that feels good with 3 as you open the eyes. Feeling really back in the here and now, but maybe a bit dizzy, maybe a bit floaty, and coming back, taking a drink if that feels good to ground yourself. I often like to ground myself by walking with bare feet as well on the grass, although I know it still might be quite cold on the feet right now. Epsom salt baths. I'll bring up your messages before I love you and leave you. You're welcome, Claire. I'm so glad. I hope it was what you were hoping for tonight. And I hope that you all had a lovely, lovely, relaxing session. You know, some nights you might sleep really, really well from these relaxations, and other nights it may bring things up. So don't worry if it does bring things up in your dreams. It's all part of the release. Who's talking about dark chocolate? Claire. Your name doesn't come up on there. Yep. I know. I told you I like my almond and chocolate and orange from Aldi. Oh, Angela, I'm so pleased. You've had the amazing sleep as well. Yay! Sometimes just allowing the body to relax. Rue, barefoot walk all year round. I love it. We did it on our retreat last October. It was amazing. We'll do it this time as well. You're so welcome, Michelle. So the post will go out tonight. The reminder of what you need to do between now and Sunday. Again, just try and do it when it feels right. Don't force it. And I will leave you to have a lovely, lovely rest of your evening. Thank you so much for being here. It means a lot. I'm glad that it's helping. And I'll see you tomorrow night.